You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Oh, we back.
Oh, good Lord, we're back.
We back for another episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. Feels good.
It does.
I'm JC, here next to me at the commentary booth of the stars, my good buddy, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
So great to be back in this chair again, JC.
I know. I've
missed you, buddy.
I missed you too, pal. Living in a hotel for like 3 weeks fucking sucked, dude.
Witness relocation's a bitch, man.
I know. But fortunately, the guy died before I got to testify, so.
There you go.
Good for me.
I won't ask how or why, but
it's not important. I don't know if podcast is public record, so it's better left unsaid, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it's the law that 65% of anything that's said on a podcast, at least a wrestling podcast, is considered kayfabe. So
that's right.
That can't be admitted into a court of law.
And this is the #1 wrestling podcast that I'm recording right now because I can't think of anything else witty tonight. My brain is on full overload, so.
It's the favorite wrestling podcast of the current Carolina Hurricanes GM.
Ooh. The #1 wrestling podcast that is watching the ACC tournament while they record.
Oh, that may be what you're doing. I'm not.
Well, yeah. Tom obviously watching something on the network. We'll get to that. We got your cheat mail. I think two of them. Thank you. Oh, 2 of you.
Admittedly.
The rest of you probably thought we died.
Out. Yeah, the call went out just recently.
That's true.
So
you got to get back in the groove. And as for what else is going to be on this show tonight, we're just going to talk about everything we missed in the last 3 weeks. Because we missed 3 whole weeks because I was away training for my new job, which required me to live in a hotel in Annapolis, Maryland, in possibly the worst hotel I've ever stayed in my life.
I'm disappointed you didn't kayfabe a better reason for that.
Nope. I like to give the people the truth, Tom. I'm not fucking Meltzer over here being like, oh, but my plans changed, so I went to Saskatchewan.
Okay, again, by law, it is a wrestling podcast, so we have to trash Meltzer at least once.
Meltzer's great because he just, says what he thinks and then calls it news. And then goes, plans changed, Brian.
You're sounding more and more like Tony Schiavone every day.
Whose podcast is coming to an end.
Yep, he got all the money he wanted and he's done.
Good. But Pritchard's like, oh damn, I need more money. I don't know why Pritchard is stone cold all of a sudden.
It's because Pritchard actually enjoys doing it and Schiavone was doing it for the money. I mean, we'll be flat out honest with it. It's ending as soon as that wedding takes place. He said numerous times during the recording of the podcast that he's doing this to pay for his daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
And
also,
who
the fuck wants to listen to him do alternate commentary over goddamn WCW pay-per-views? Let's be 100% honest here.
I stopped listening, and no offense to Tony or anything, but I stopped listening because I liked, and I still do like, Bruce Pritchard's podcast. It's in my era, I like the behind the scenes aspect of it. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
That's not what Schiavone's podcast was. It was kind of angled in that direction, but Schiavone was not Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard was a person who was in some areas the right-hand man to Vince McMahon, and some other areas he was a head writer. He was involved in, talent acquisition. He had a lot of I don't know, different roles. So he was actively involved in the backstage. Tony Schiavone wanted nothing to do. He was talent, and he had some stories. He usually had a decent amount of stories about the Horsemen because he hung out with Flair and that type of thing. So he'd have those stories about individual people, but outside of that, like, they'd go and be like, oh, let's talk about this particular pay-per-view. This guy, seemed like he may have been a little hammered or something like that. Was he drunk that particular day? I don't know. I didn't want to get involved with it.
Yeah, that was my problem with a lot of that podcast, was it was just never any answers.
No, it was, I didn't want to get involved with it, or I wasn't there, or that was none of my business, or he'd kayfabe something else.
Yeah.
Like,
it's still a fun listen.
Yeah, I stopped. But, I mean, it is what it is. It was still better than, like, God, don't make me listen to, like, Disco Inferno or anything.
Oh, Jesus.
That dude, stay away from him.
Inferno's garbage. You got fucking Cornette just screaming into a microphone. God damn! I have to use the Pritchard impersonation there because I can't do my own impersonation of Cornette. So
Motherfucker!
And
I love you for that.
Fucking Russo screaming
Roll
into
Tide. Oh, God.
So.
Welcome to Cheaters Never Run Down Every Other Podcast.
So fuck all those other guys except Bruce Pritchard, who are all you need. Satin's cool.
So
we like Ryan Satin.
He liked a tweet of mine the other day, so.
He's a fun guy. I played 2K.
Granted.
I played 2K17 with him one time.
It had absolutely nothing to do with wrestling. It had to do with the order of which one puts milk into a cereal bowl.
Of course it did. He's a fun Twitter follow for non-wrestling things, too. So,
well, Bill Hanstock, who does he write for now? He used to write for Cage Side Seats, and I think he switched to maybe Uprocks.
Okay.
I don't know. But also a very good follow that I enjoy. Tweeted something about, like, he had just learned that there are people who put their milk in the bowl before the cereal. And
what kind of monster does that?
My wife and at least two of my children.
As I said, what kind of monster does that?
My wife, who listens to this podcast, will kick your ass, and you know that.
I know that, but that doesn't change my opinion of her, Tom.
I will explain her reasoning, and I understand this. My wife does not like soggy cereal at all.
How does that make it less soggy? It's still in the goddamn milk.
Because what you do is you have the cereal, you have the bowl, you have the milk in the bowl, you have the cereal next to it, and you pour a little bit of cereal into the bowl, and you eat the cereal immediately.
But then you don't get the joy of cereal milk.
My wife does not want cereal milk. She wants to eat the cereal.
What does she do with the milk at the end?
I don't know. Maybe it gets drank. Maybe it gets poured into the sink.
Okay,
I don't know.
The joy of dry cereal, Tom, is the cereal milk at the end.
I understand this. And I had, when I was just a boy, I had a actual idea of selling cereal milk. Like, I love Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes milk should be a beverage that can be purchased.
I know a place coming up where you can buy a bar of chocolate that is flavored like cereal milk, but we'll save that plug.
Okay.
For such a time.
So, see, I have no problems with that. And plus, I like stuff like Honey Smacks and stuff where it doesn't get soggy. It's just that's just how it is naturally, and It just kind of sits there and floats on top, and
because it's not real food.
No, it's puffed. It's puffed styrofoam. But yeah. So welcome to Cheaters Never Eat Cereal.
Come for the wrestling, stay for the cereal takes.
Are we doing wrestling today? Or
we are. Let's talk about I guess the big breaking news coming out of the NXT tapings in Full Sail today. Hey, there's a new championship coming to NXT.
Really now?
Yes. I don't know. So I can't figure out by reading the spoilers, which, fuck you if you're going to call me out for this. WWE tweeted it out themselves, so eat my dick. I just got really, I've been really salty for the last 2 days. I apologize.
Welcome to Cheaters Never Eat Your Genitalia.
So it's the North American Championship, and it's going to be given to its first recipient at NXT TakeOver NOLA.
The North American Championship originally held by Ted DiBiase in 1980.
I don't know that this has the same lineage.
No, it's not going to, but
yeah.
But yeah, so there's your trivia, and I'm not watching that currently on the network now, but the network has just recently uploaded a lot of episodes of All American Wrestling, which was the regular syndicated, I'll say Titan Sports or WWF, WWF, whatever, in like these shows that were uploaded are like 70s era. So you get a little bit of Superstar Billy Graham, a little bit of Bruno, a little bit of Pedro Morales, that type of thing.
Right.
And in one of the matches, they had WWF North American Champion Ted DiBiase, who at the time was plain old, $200 a night Ted DiBiase instead of the $1 Million Man. Second generation superstar. But that title actually would end up turning into the WWF Intercontinental title when, I don't know, it was folded into and sent to Rio de Janeiro, where Pat Patterson won a tournament with many, many, many men and sweat. And
right. Of course.
Things involved.
Ring boys.
Perhaps. I don't know. I was not there, but I'm sure thousands and thousands were there to witness.
Just telling you what I saw on Donahue, okay?
Yeah, okay. So, Barrio was not there.
So the North American champion will be crowned out of a 6-way ladder match.
Never buy a 6-way ladder.
That'd be kind of cool, though. Oh my god, what a great gimmick match. It would be attached in the center of the ring with 6 ladders.
I think you need like a 4th dimension for a 6-sided ladder.
What would the other dimension be? I think it can fit in height, width, and depth.
I don't know what the 4th dimension is. I know the 5th dimension's a band.
It's sound.
I don't watch enough Rick and Morty to understand what other dimensions are. I'm not that smart.
That would be the C-137 ladder. Anyway, so the participants in the ladder match are Ethan Carter III. Is he Ethan Carter III or just EC3?
When they introduced him at that takeover, and that's the only thing I've seen him on WWE television, right, as he was introduced as EC3, so I don't know.
That's how they're calling him, but I feel like he has to have an actual name to go with that.
It's like RVD, just calling him RVD.
Yeah.
They should just go the whole Impact way and just, like...
Trouble. Just steal the fucking music. That's all I want. That's all I want from EC3 is the fucking music. Also, he's great. But also the music. Anyway, him versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan, who's going to kill somebody. Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, and Ricochet! Because I can only... I have to... every time I read his name, I have to announce it like I'm in New Japan.
That'd be a great gimmick. Have him bring his own New Japan, ring announcer.
Would that be a good gimmick? It would get over in NXT.
Yeah, exactly. And have it be like the old school, I don't know how far you've gone back in the New Japan NJPW world.
Not at all.
But But in the 90s, the ring announcer for New Japan used to dress like it looked like a drum major outfit. Like it'd be like all in white with like all like the gold buttons across it or whatever. So
holy shit! God bless.
I totally want to have Ricochet like all of a sudden like they start to introduce the next person, then like this guy comes out and just kind of shoves him off to the side and starts clearing his throat and just starts dropping all of his Japanese.
And then it just ends with Ricochet!
Ricochet!
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be a fun match.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, though, because you have Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan in it, and I don't think either one of those people can climb a ladder.
Lars Sullivan just looks at the ladder and wonders why it's looking at him funny and just destroys it. What's wrong with you, ladder? He just throws it into the fucking crowd.
And just punches it in the face. You didn't know a ladder had a face until Lars Sullivan punched it.
I'm glad he's back, though. I missed him for the last 2 tapings or whatever. He was just not there for some reason.
I'm sure he spent 3 weeks at a Best Western somewhere.
That turns you into Lars Sullivan. I felt like Lars Sullivan looks at the end of that goddamn stay.
Just eating jerky. I imagine Lars Sullivan just eats a lot of jerky. Like that's all he has.
TSA opens his fucking bag. Like he gets his random checked luggage screening. And they open it up and they're like, why is all this jerky in here? And it's nothing but jerky and 1 extra pair of tights.
Like he's got jerky like I have ramen. Just there's like 74 different flavors and that's all it is.
No, see, I was picturing it's all just the plain Jack Link's beef jerky. Just that ugly ass red bag, but 150 of them in a suitcase. Not even a suitcase, they were just in a duffel bag.
The Sam's Club multi-pack.
Half of them are open because he just keeps eating bits out of each one for some reason.
See, I picture him as more of an aficionado, because he's silent and stoic generally, and then somebody finally is like, "Ooh, is that venison jerky?" And he just softens up and just like, "Yeah, I really like venison jerky." You get it has there's no gaminess. It just really enhances the flavor. It just goes completely
I like that. His eyes go from that dead cold stare to just completely engaged in the conversation.
Yeah. And then somebody else asks him about beer or something like that, and then he just drops it completely and goes back into it.
He just turns around and back suplexes them, and then he just turns around and keeps talking about jerky. Hey,
Man,
Lars, you got the time? Nope, but I got the jerky.
That's a sponsorship opportunity. God
shit.
damn NXT, jump on. Where's Paul? Paul needs to,
Ladies
to
and gentlemen.
I was thinking of the other one. The one who runs NXT.
Oh. I just was thinking about Paul Heyman cutting a promo on jerky.
Levesque. Paul Levesque.
I believe you're pronouncing some consonants wrong.
I don't think so. I believe that is the French Massachusetts way of saying it.
The lame asshole way of saying it?
Yes. Did you just call me a lame asshole?
Ooh, that works. I like that. I mean, I've done it before. So usually not to your face.
We've been gone to 3 weeks, man. You didn't have to be hurtful so quickly.
I had to go to a whole different state to talk shit about you because everybody else down here has already heard everything.
I've got family in Maryland, man. You shouldn't.
Which part of the family? Is it the part of the family I need to be concerned with that they might, I might end up under a freeway?
No, it's my family.
Oh,
side.
okay. All right, we're good.
Yeah, not my in-laws.
I already insulted Tara anyway earlier, so it's
Yeah, good luck with that.
it's already done. Anyway, back to wrestling.
I guess.
Yeah, so that match is happening at TakeOver. That's fun. And the Dusty Classic apparently is being taped at the entire taping. It will not conclude at TakeOver because they're having the finals right now as we speak, but I will not spoil them.
Oh.
But just to give you a heads up, it does not conclude at TakeOver.
Now, is the winner of this going to be the team champions, or are they going Freebird rule with the
So I haven't
with the tag team belts?
I haven't seen anything come out of the spoilers, and I'm reading comments here to see if there's anything about it. But I've not seen anything to where the tag team titles are being decided by the title or by the tournament. For those of you who don't know, Bobby Fish, one half of the Red Dragon, which is 2/3 of the Undisputed Era, was injured at a house show this weekend and underwent knee surgery on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a 3-person group like that, then why not Freebird rule it and just at least have some kind of transition out of the titles? I don't know what. Although, if they're going to defend the titles at TakeOver, then that's double duty for Adam Cole.
Mayday. Yeah, I mean, true. Yeah,
So.
Interesting. And we've also had it confirmed with NXT that it looks like the November pay-per-view, which is in LA this year before Survivor Series, will be War Games 2. So.
Are we going to completely make up the rules again?
God, Tom, you're still so salty about it. Why? It was so good, Tom.
Because everything that's happened after 1988 is horrible.
All right. Oh, God. You know what's a good thing, though, Tom?
What's that, JC?
That I had lots of clean clothes to take with me to Maryland.
Well, yeah, you don't want to smell.
Well, and the good part was I had 6 Cheaters Never Pin t-shirts, so that got me through like almost the whole week.
Well, there you go. It's like you don't have to worry about, having a different wardrobe, but at the same time, it keeps you clean.
Right.
Because you're not wearing the same shirt 6 days in a row. Don't do that.
Exactly. That's gross.
If you're out there listening, don't wear the same shirt 6 days.
Please,
in a row.
We know you're wrestling fans, but use some personal hygiene, please.
Yeah.
I've derailed this ad read.
So where did you get those 6 T-shirts, JC?
I went to cheatersneverpin.com, clicked the Amazon button on the front page, and it took me to a page that looks like Amazon because it is Amazon. And I searched Cheaters Never Pin, and I bought the merch. # buy the merch.
Yeah, I'd make a joke about other websites that are similar to Amazon.com, but I got corrected on Twitter. So I'm just going to say it goes to Amazon.com, but it also allows us, while you shop for your favorite products through Amazon, to be delivered either to your door or to one of the Amazon lockers that they have. Ooh. We've got a couple of those from the our area.
Fun.
So I've used that once or twice. It's kind of nice. There's one in a Whole Foods. You just walk in there. It looks like
Of course it's in a Whole Foods.
Yeah, of course it is. But you just walk in there, and then you don't actually have to walk into the Whole Foods. It's like in that first thing of doors, like where the shopping carts are and stuff like that. You get a little code. You punch in the little code, and then like magically one of these little doors opens up, and your package is right there.
What?
So you don't have to worry about, like, say, it was great at Christmas time because you always have that paranoia that I'm going to order a package. It's going to sit on my front porch, but I'm at work. And by the time I get home from work, that package is going to be gone because one of those assholes goes door to door looking for Amazon packages and
Like
stealing them.
Reverse Santa.
Yeah, that's and I need a whiteboard in here. But yeah,
I have to type it now.
But yeah, go to cheatersneverpin.com, click on the Amazon button, takes you to Amazon. You turn around, you place your order. You have it sent to wherever the hell it is that you want it sent. You spend your money. Amazon gets most of their money, but a little bit of that money that you spend doesn't go to Amazon. It goes to us.
Ooh.
And it allows us to, I don't know, get some. Maybe I'll get a headset one of these days, not have to use like an Xbox headset that I steal from my son, or something like that. Maybe we'll get like a second mic.
Oh, I like that.
And you won't sound like you're far away, and I won't sound like I'm on a Skype call.
Right. Anyway, cheatersneverpin.com. Click the Amazon button. Do your shopping there. Buy a T-shirt. Make everybody happy.
We have the sweet 328 Cheaters Never Pin T-shirts.
Yes.
You know you want one.
And
I've got one.
And if
it's
you want
stylish.
And if you want to avoid the atness in your world, ATNAS, is it backwards, Tom? That took way too much work. If you want to avoid the atnesses, use an Amazon locker.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's clear that I'm completely out of ad read practice.
Oh, I interrupted you, and then I just took over the damn ad read.
Thank you. I was drowning.
We are at the part of the ECW pay-per-view, which I have on the background, where the Insane Clown Posse has shown up.
Oh, shit. ICP. Do you think they can make a run in WWE today? Like ICP
God,
versus
they might.
ICP, like at the compound. At the Hardy compound.
Yeah, that I could see. I could totally see that.
That would be,
and Rob Van Dam's attacking them both.
Ooh. So yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about what we've missed since Elimination Chamber. We did find out the what are they calling it? The Great Deletion or something? It's the conclusion of the Great War, Thomas.
Yes.
Is coming.
Sorry.
I don't know how Wyatt laughs. Why you always giggling like a schoolgirl, man? I don't get it, man. Anyway, Matt Hardy invited Bray Wyatt to the Hardy compound just down the street from here to conclude the Great War. So, here's my question. We'll start with this point of discussion. When the hell are they going to do this? Not when are they filming it, but like, Tom, when is this going to air? Don't say the logical answer, because it's just going to make me sad, and there's so many problems with it.
So, I mean, do you have a segment on a pay-per-view? Which I assume is what they do.
Okay, but what's the next pay-per-view?
Is it Fastlane?
That's a SmackDown pay-per-view. So what's left, Tom?
Well, Vanguard 1 can hack into the SmackDown pay-per-view and show it anyway.
All right, I'm in.
There you go. You have like a, I don't know.
That Carmella Becky match gets cut because of Vanguard 1. Thank you, Jesus.
Wasn't that a tag match?
It is. I don't even know. I was half paying attention to SmackDown last night. I was just so goddamn angry at everything. Last night was not a good sports night for me.
Yeah.
No, so my giant fear is that they film this and somebody thinks, this would be really good for WrestleMania. Spoiler alert, having 60,000 people watching the fucking Titantron is not a good idea.
No.
Now, the only way you can kind of deal with that issue And it's still not going to work very well because you're still going to have 10 to 12 minutes of them watching the TV or the Titantron is to have Vanguard 1 teleport them to New Orleans somehow, which is cool for any pay-per-view except WrestleMania. Because if I paid WrestleMania prices, I am not watching a fucking television. This isn't WrestleMania 2.
I think the last time they did that was that the Backlot Brawl?
That's what
with Gold Dust and Roddy Piper.
That would be the last time I could think they tried something like that.
And that wasn't an outdoor event like
this
I
year's.
don't think.
This year's not outdoors.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, but it's still it's essentially outdoors.
It's in a football stadium, so I mean.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not like in the garden or something like that.
Right. But I'm really worried that's where they're going with this. And the crowd is going to lose their fucking mind, and I cannot blame them.
Yeah. I mean, they've kind of it's gotten to the point where they kind of hate it to begin with. They're hating all this Woken stuff because it's not how broken Matt Hardy was, and all it is him laughing and whatever.
But I said but the general kind of feeling I was getting from Twitter Monday night was that people were like, all right, we're finally getting to the compound. Like, this is the broken, Woken Matt we like. Like, all right, let's get back on board and at least try it.
Yeah. This is the last grasp, realistically.
Yeah. Now, the good part is, and I know he's been working a lot with NXT, but to me, the video package that they showed of Matt at the compound looked like Jeremy Borash.
Yeah.
The way it was shot was Jeremy Borash.
I was going to say, when I watched it, it looked like TNA. It didn't look like a WWE production. It looked just the same way that it did when they did the original stuff. So at least if you put that feel back into it, then that gets people a little bit more relaxed and go, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
And once we start getting more characters involved, because I mean that was half of it in the first place, is to get Brother Nero involved and.
Well, my assumption is that this match will be the return of Jeff Hardy anyway, because it's been reported. Ryan Satin reported on Pro Wrestling Sheet this week that he has been cleared by his doctors to return to action. So at this point, you just hold him for that match.
Yeah.
And he appears from the Lake of Reincarnation, obviously.
In the dilapidated boat.
Yes, delightful. I mean, that's how I would do it.
He's been given green beans and I don't know.
Or they start fighting through the house and he's playing piano. I'm so glad Matt sang the song the other day. Because when he started singing the song, I was like, oh shit, Jeff's about to appear. Because that's Jeff's song. That I think he wrote as part of Peroxygen. Oh, Tom, that's a great idea for a Patreon exclusive episode.
Oh?
We have a Peroxygen listening party. The only way you could get that is if you went to cheatersneverpin.com and you clicked the Patreon button on the front page. And you
that's the other button.
Yeah. And you gave us a few bucks or $1 or 5 cents a month as a little thank you for providing you with all this entertainment that we do when we feel like it.
You can do 5 cents a month.
Oh, $1 a month.
Yeah, I think that's the maximum. Minimum. Yeah.
You see Sarah McLachlan.
Maximum would be bad.
You see Sarah McLachlan on TV, and she's talking about these dogs, and they look all sad and shit. Well, you've never seen Tommy. You can't see him right now.
No.
It's sadder. Like, he's got these giant bags under his eyes. He looks depressed and exhausted. I mean, I don't know if he's eaten in 3 days. He looks like shit, really. And the only way to fix that is by going to cheatersneverpin.com and clicking the Patreon button on the front page And for $1 a month, you can save, Tom.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had an Uncrustable. Really has.
That's he's going through withdrawals, man. We need Tom fully back on the Uncrustables. So he needs so many Uncrustables. He's Jeff Hardy at Victory Road. Okay, just stumble.
Ooh. That's bad.
Anyway, cheatersneverpen.com. Click the Patreon button. That's an ad read. That's how you do an ad read, Tom. I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
God, I'm watching this. For those of you who care about such things, the current event that I am currently watching it. The event that I'm watching in the background as I record this is ECW's Hardcore Heaven 1997, which is ECW's second pay-per-view after Barely Legal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Bam Bam Bigelow versus Spike Dudley match. And I do not know how Spike Dudley is not dead.
Well, he is. Isn't he?
No, he's not.
Oh.
No.
Well, slap my ass. I didn't know that.
But, like, you've seen spots where Bam Bam picks up Spike and, like, throws him into the crowd and that type of thing. That's one of those iconic ECW spots. Because Bam Bam Bigelow is a big guy and
right.
Spike Dudley is like $120.
But
what?
I say my favorite comment I saw on Reddit Monday night during Raw was when Seth Rollins came out in his flame pants. Somebody just wrote Bam Bam Rollins. I was like, oh shit, you're right.
Well, I saw a picture of Rollins in the flame tights next to Finn Balor in his blue outfit. And then next to it, they showed a picture of Ice Train and Scott Norton as Fire and Ice.
I like it.
Because that was the team.
Yeah. So before we get to... Oh, sorry. Finish your story.
No, I was just going to say, but he is busted open badly, but...
Of course he is.
It's like out of the side of his head, I think, because there's a spot... Christ, there's a mop out to mop blood off the ground. There's a spot where he decides to drop him outside, but I swear he catches like Spike's head on the ring post as he comes down. So I don't know if he actually split his head open that way, like legitimately, or if it was an actual blade job or whatever, but like then he ends up throwing him into the crowd. And I mean, they actually, for ECW to turn around and grab a towel to clean off the blood from somebody's face, you know that maybe there was a little too much. But yeah, so Spike's very dead, but he's still alive.
But not. So in an effort to fill time before we get to cheat mail, or I'm sorry, not my bit, pin mail, holy shit. We could just go through and answer the cheat mail. It's still their thunder.
That's not a bad idea, because they're not recording until tomorrow.
Nope.
So
we could break all the news that already broke. Anyway, before we get to pin mail, I have a fun question that I just thought of when I was sitting here.
All right.
If you could have one person, or tag team or whatever, make a surprise return at WrestleMania and go on a 1-year run in WWE, who would you pick?
I'm assuming realistic, actual things like.
Yeah, obviously I'm not gonna be like Flair.
I can't have Owen Hart show up.
Right. Realistic, yeah. Realistic, but not including like contract issues or anything like that. Like living people that are able to compete no matter their contract status anywhere else.
Right. So we could bring in somebody like if I wanted to bring in the TNA person or something like that.
Yeah, or you want to say fucking Okada, like.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it probably. I'm torn back and forth on this. It's like, what member of Bullet Club would I bring in?
That's where I'm going. Do you want me to give me mine while you think? Because I just kind of sprang this on
yeah,
you.
Because I could probably. You'll do one and I'll do the other.
Oh no, mine's a tag team, my friend.
Well, that's what I mean. I had a singles person and a tag team.
Okay.
So if you're going that way, then I'll go the other.
Okay. So, because I have full booking behind this.
Okay.
I want the Young Bucks to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you get to this point, but I want them to be paired with Jericho. So you get Jericho and the Young Bucks versus Finn and the Club.
Okay.
That would be a fun feud.
Well, I guess you kind of work it out that, like, the Bucks show up and, like, the Club assumes that they would be connected with them, but then Jericho comes out and, I don't know, then you get the turn or whatever.
Oh, yeah, and he goes, that's the whole reason I was in Japan, to get these guys to come over here and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. We run Japan, blah, blah, blah. Then Finn comes out and he's like, nah, bitch. Look. I did it first.
All right, so if you're doing that, then, again, I was torn between that or Kenny, but I'll bring in Kenny.
Okay.
Just because I'd like to see not necessarily even the work rate matches, because we know that he can have. I mean, he'd be able to have some great matches with like Finn and other people like that. But hell, he could have a great match with most wrestlers on that roster. But I want to see him like just start cutting promos, and because he's got this imagination to him, and he'd be able to work, I think, just some really great scripted promotional angles.
Yeah.
So I want to see that aspect of it, because there's not that much of that. I mean, I know it's there, but you don't necessarily have that so much in New Japan. They're doing it right now with the him versus Cody thing, which has been great. But I see that, and I know that there's so much more that he can do too, and I'd love to see that in conjunction with his actual wrestling ability. So
that'd be cool.
So that's the direction I'd go in.
I just thought too with mine. So if the Bucks Club thing went through SummerSlam, because April to SummerSlam, that's a short period. After SummerSlam, they somehow get traded to SmackDown, so they can then have their New Day feuds, and then a feud with the Usos. Because all of a sudden, I just thought of the the Young Bucks and the Usos. I was like, that's a dope match.
That's a lot of super kicks.
Right? Anyway, that was a fun bit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good job.
Let's move on to Pin Mail.
Pin Mail. Pin Mail. Pin Mail.
Music to my ears.
Oh.
We good?
Yes, it's done now.
Okay, cool. First up from our very own Derek Wrestler at DWrestle. I get it, because it's wrestling. On Twitter. As I look forward to this for my commute tomorrow. Thanks for that. We're glad to be back in your ear holes, Derek. With WWE going to joint pay-per-views, would you combine the rosters and merge the branded belts? No. Ooh, we said that.
Do you want to take this one first, or?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Because we have. I think we're going to say the same thing.
Yeah. If we're combining the rosters, you've got a lot of up top, and the mid card gets completely lost. And I mean, that's already the fear for the pay-per-views as it is, that some of these mid-card guys are never going to see another pay-per-view, basically, because you've got so many more people like geared towards the main event that you're going to have, the last two matches of what would be a split card are going to be like openers. So it's the WWE roster right now is packed.
Mm-hmm.
So the roster split has done a good job of allowing for like the cruiserweights to be at least seen a little bit, and for a tag division to actually be built up on both sides, for the women to be actually seen. And yeah, you don't want to merge the rosters at this point. Maybe get rid of a belt or two, maybe, but I don't know. I'm fine with the belts the way they are.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. Like, there's too much talent right now, and you wanna expose as much as possible. So potentially there are more bigger stars that more people can connect with, therefore getting more eyes on the product, and therefore making more money.
I mean, as it is, I think the brands are still too much alike as it is to begin with. The whole fake feud, which is apparently completely gone now.
The what?
The fake feud that we had going into
Tom,
Survivor Series.
Yeah, it'll come back in November. Calm down.
But that's the thing. We had this whole thing with Stephanie and Kurt Angle attacking and Triple H attacking.
Yeah, it'll happen again in November.
I guess. But that's completely gone out the window, so I don't know.
Hell in a Cell, you're going to see that in October like always. And then the following month, everybody invading each other's shows like always.
Remember, I was also the one that, liked the invasion, so.
I enjoyed the invasion angle. We should do an entire episode that's the invasion angle apologists episode.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Book it.
Yep.
From our buddy at Tweets from Seth, his name is Seth.
Makes sense.
Yep. Logic. Which championship do you expect or prefer to be defended in a ladder match this year at WrestleMania? Well, we know it's not the Intercontinental clusterfuck, so that's nice.
Right.
The Cruiserweight title is another one I would expect, but that'll be the finals of the tournament.
So that'd be a fun ladder match.
God, wouldn't it? I could see, at this point, probably one of the tag belts. Probably the SmackDown one.
Yeah.
If the U.S. belt, maybe. But I have a feeling Randy Orton's going to win that on Sunday, so we can get another hot Randy gender feud over a strap.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. That was the WrestleMania question, correct?
Yes.
It had to be WrestleMania?
Right.
Because ladders work real well in NXT, but
especially six-sided ladders.
Yes.
Why didn't they use a six-sided ladder in TNA? Oh, why? Why was that not a thing?
See, I think six-sided ladder, like in the TLC pay-per-view where they had kind of like the display where you had like kind of circular thing, you had a whole bunch of ladders like kind of around it. That's a six-sided ladder.
I was picturing like a giant thing that stands up that has like six different sides you can climb up.
Yeah.
But it's one unit.
Right. It's kind of like a pyramid almost. Yeah. But yeah.
Jeff Hardy looks at it. And he's like, man, how am I going to kill myself off that?
Fuck it. I can do it.
I'll just jump off it. How about that?
I like how Jeff Hardy has a little underlying Terry Funk in there. Like, Terry Funk when he was much older, much younger.
That's how I used to sound, Tom. I missed this podcast. I'm glad you boys are back. Thanks, Terry.
I thought there was more of that dumb son of a bitch. What?
Oh, we got all the impressions in tonight. This is a good episode.
Yeah. Not French Stone Cold, though. He's done.
Anyway.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. You can pause all you want. It's not going to.
Did you have? Damn it! Did you have a different opinion on this question?
No, it's like tag titles I could see because, but a tag. I mean, you can't have too many teams in a tag.
We did a 4-way last year.
It was a 4-way ladder match?
Yeah, it was what? The Bar and some other teams and the Hardys.
Oh, right. Okay. Would you do a women's title match again? I mean, they've done that recently, but they did that for Money in the Bank.
I say we haven't had a women's title ladder match ever, have we? There you go.
As a title match, no. We've done ladder matches because they did Money in the Bank.
Yep. Stephanie's like, I invented the women's revolution, so I'm having a ladder match for you guys. I'm gonna go fight Ronda now. Bye.
I like how she's polite and says goodbye.
What's the businesswoman her, you know?
So yeah, I could see that.
Did my Stephanie totally derail your train of thought?
I just see her sticking her head at the side of the screen,
out of fucking gorilla,
just like going away.
Guys, get on the fucking ladder. And Hunter's like, well, I've heard that voice before.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
Just nod.
Find it's easier that way.
And say, yes, honey. I'm sorry.
That's how I get to do an NXT. They let me do it by myself. Back in the 205 Live. But, yeah, I could see the women doing one. But the women have more of a gimmick match. Because that's the thing. It's like each pay-per-view, it's like, wait, let's have the women do this gimmick match. So maybe a TLC match for the women.
No, Tom, we have to save that for TLC.
Yeah.
You can only do that match in December, Tom.
Well, they had 2 Money in the Bank matches in 2 days.
That's true. And the man won the first one.
Yeah.
What matches haven't the women done yet? I think that list is super short now.
No rope exploding barbed wire C4 match.
Ooh. I like that.
Onita wins.
Strap match.
Yeah.
Bayley Sasha strap match. I could see that being a thing.
Oh, yeah, I could actually.
It's actually
see that,
that's a great fucking gimmick there for that feud.
Wait, but they did no. Didn't they do something with? Oh, it was the Singapore Cane match.
That was on a pole, so that doesn't count.
Oh. But it was still a weapon.
But it counts, yeah.
And it was horrible.
So bad. I don't think there's much left.
Yeah.
Really. Casket match.
Inferno match. But I think
Judy
the thing
Bagwell on a forklift match. There has been no women's Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
It's a new revolution. Goodbye.
I signed Judy Bagwell. Everyone's like, what?
Goodbye.
I want that to be Stephanie's new gimmick. It's just yelling, goodbye.
It's Ricky Morton in a cherry picker match. Oh, that's a T-shirt right there. It's just
oh shit, a women's Skywalker's match.
yeah, because
Sasha just takes the worst bump ever.
Sasha literally it's an outdoor match, and Sasha literally gets blown off the fucking scaffold because she's like 90 pounds.
And she flails the whole way down, and everyone's like, she might actually be dead this time.
I just see her
Someone's
just
knocking
getting
at my door. Hold on.
Okay. This is live activity. I guess I should be stalling now. See, we've run too long when people are actually knocking on JC's door to visit him. There's actually a conversation going on. If JC dies right now, you're all evidence. But since I don't actually produce the show, I don't know how we'd actually get this evidence to the police. But yeah. Yeah, so things are still going. So I haven't heard any gunshots yet, so I don't think JC's actually dying, so that's good. I don't think Stephanie McMahon has actually shown up to his house to say goodbye. I think I would have heard something about that. I think that would have been exciting. Let's see. What else is going on? We did the ad read, so I don't have that to do. JC usually talks about we've talked about his outing there, so can't talk about that. So what do we have coming up next? What's the next pay-per-view? Sounds like he might be done. No, still not done yet.
No, I'm coming, Tom. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta get back in my chair here. Hope Tom didn't hijack the podcast for too long, folks, because I'm sure shit ain't editing this out. That takes a lot of extra effort.
No, I kept him going. We had a pretty good conversation.
Good. Anyway.
So you can listen back to that, figure out if you want to keep that or not.
It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm leaving it in.
Okay.
Anyway, anything else we have for tonight?
No, I think that pretty much finishes it up. We
Fabulous.
talked about your potential murder conviction, which apparently will not happen. So
I probably shouldn't talk about that when there's 4 Durham PD outside my apartment right now.
See, I knew it!
Anyway, Tom, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. Good luck finding me because I'm hiding from Twitter today because outside of my little snarky comments about Ron Francis, I really don't want to hear what's going on in my timeline.
That's probably
follow me anyway.
That's a wise decision. I've been trying to troll Twitter today at JCBobbit, JCBOBBITT. You can find me there, Instagram, anywhere. You can find the show on Twitter at CheatersNeverPin, Cheaters in VR Pin. We're also on Facebook. You can give us a big blue thumbs up there. We plug the Amazon and the Patreon. You can find both of those things at CheatersNeverPin.com. And I think that about covers it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I forgot anything.
This went longer than we expected, especially since we didn't cover any content.
No, that was the freeform edition.
Yeah.
So, considering our longest bits were Lars Sullivan, I think that was the long bit of the night, but that was fun.
Stephanie McMahon, goodbye!
Goodbye! Oh, all right. Well, we'll be back next week with hopefully a more coherent show now that we've gotten back in the habit of doing this.
Ask Groot who likes coherent. I don't.
Yeah, it's way more fun when we're just shooting the shit for an hour.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it too. So thanks for listening as always. We'll catch you again next week. I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.